What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and today I'm going to be going over every single character we are yet to see in studio series from the live action films. So, I'm not doing the 86 movie or Transformers 1 since I'd basically be listing every single G1 character for the 86 line, and as for Transformers 1, they are only just starting to touch that film in studio series, so again, I'd just be listing every single character, and it just feels a bit pointless at this point in time. But anyways, I'll be going over each film from the 2007 movie all the way to Rise of the Beasts, and I will be dividing each movie into 3 sections, which are characters that appeared in the film, concept art or cut characters, and characters that appeared in the toy lines for those films. This should cover every possible character we could get in studio series. However, I will mention that there are definitely many more concept characters that exist, however we haven't seen the concept art for them. So, for example, we received concept art Sunstreaker without there being any official concept art of that character being released. So, without further ado, let's get into the list with Transformers 2007. So, the characters that appeared in this film are Frenzy, the Protoform Autobots, Dispenser, Nokia Bot, the Steering Wheel Bot, and the Xbox Bot. Out of these, I can definitely see us getting all of them apart from the Nokia Bot, Steering Wheel Bot, and the Xbox Bot, as those are either way too small, don't have a shown design, or they are just insignificant to the plot in general. Now for the concept art / cut characters, we have RC, Hot Rod, Prowl, Wheeljack, Wreckage, Soundwave, Ravage, Shockwave, Onslaught, Octane, Blitzwing, and an aircraft carrier Decepticon, which I'm assuming would be called Tidal Wave. So, we all know about RC being cut and replaced with Ironhide, and you may also know about Prowl being turned into Barricade. However, some noticeable mentions here are Tidal Wave, which was cut for budget reasons, Soundwave and Ravage, which was turned into Blackout and Scorponok, and Onslaught, Octane and Wreckage would have all been military vehicles alongside Brawl and, believe it or not, Frenzy, who originally would have been a mortar artillery truck. Now we're into the old toy line for the 2007 film, and the characters from that are Protoform Starscream, Cliffjumper, Longarm, Swindle, Dreadwing, Payload, Dropkick, Camshaft, Landmine, Stockade, Overcast, Salvage, Thundercracker, Evac, and Incinerator. So, obviously, a lot of these guys come from the 2007 movie tie-in game, and so they'd most likely be released under the Gamer Edition subline. However, I would absolutely love to get a Longarm, Landmine, and Cliffjumper made into Studio Series figures, as I used to have the original figures of these guys, and I remember absolutely loving them as a child. So it'd be a really nice bit of nostalgia, and it's also a cool idea for Hasbro to take advantage of by turning various vehicles from the movies into Transformers, as it gives us those vehicles and it also gives us a new bot to add to the collection. But now we move on to Revenge of the Fallen, and the characters we're yet to see from this film are Ironhide, Ratchet, Skids and Mudflap in their ice cream truck modes, Skids and Mudflap in their Chevrolet modes, the Primes, Scalpel, Alice, Reedman, the Bone Crusher drone, the Decepticon Protoforms, the Appliance Bots, Demolisher, Payload, and Scorponok. So yeah, I know it's very unlikely we will see Skids and Mudflap in any form, however I still want them so that I can finish the Autobot cast from that film. I also think it's unlikely that we'll get the Primes, Scalpel, Alice, Reedman, and the Appliance Bots, as I don't think Hasbro would spend money on making the Fallen over and over again, just with different heads, and the other bots are either too small or a bit controversial in Alice's case. But as for the other bots, I'd love to see each of them get figures for this film at some point in the future. Now for the concept art and cut characters, we have Breakaway, Depth Charge, Ransack, Springer, the more Constructicons, the third twin, Laserbeak and Barricade. I definitely think we'll get Breakaway, Springer and Ransack at some point, as they're all perfect additions to the concept art line. I think it would be cool to get Depth Charge as well, however I'm unsure if Hasbro would do that, as he would have to be pretty big and it's a lot of budget to put into a concept art figure. However, I'd still love to receive him. And finally, I highly doubt we'd get a third twin, as it's already a big ask to get the original two twins, so getting a third one would be pushing it quite a lot. And now we have the old toy line characters, and we have a lot for Revenge of the Fallen, as they went crazy with making figures for characters we never saw in this film. These characters are Tankor, Dead End, Dirt Boss, Knockout, Rollbar, Dune Runner, Reverb, Ejector, Nightbeat, Smokescreen, Blazemaster, Swerve, Gears, Thrust, Armorhide, Dirge, Brawn, Lockdown, Evac, Stratosphere, Bludgeon, and Mindwipe. Obviously, I think it would be great to get all of these characters in Studio Series. However, I'm unsure if we will get all of them, as this would take years and years to get them all, and since they didn't appear in the film, and some of them are quite unknown characters, I don't think Hasbro would risk spending so much money making them all over the course of a few years. But yeah, that's all the characters from Revenge of the Fallen, and now we'll move on to Dark of the Moon, and for this film we have Ironhide, the Ark Crew Protoforms, Skids and Mudflap, the Decepticon Protoforms, the Driller, Devcon, Loader, the Watchbot, Desert Brawl, Garbage Bot, Barricade, Starscream, and Crankcase. Yes, we did technically get a Crankcase figure, however I've already mentioned in my previous Studio Series video that we need an accurate representation of this character and not just a crowbar repaint. I also have Skids and Mudflap in this section, as they did technically cameo in the film in the background of 2 shots, and so they do count as characters that actually appeared in the film. And finally, I think the Driller is unlikely to get a Studio Series release, as he's way too big and also doesn't transform in the film, and his design wouldn't be that interesting to get as a figure anyways, due to just being a big worm basically. As for the others, I think we can expect to get some sort of release for them at some point in the future. Now for concept art and cut characters, we have Silverbolt, Dreadlock, Galvatron, Hot Rod, Warpath, Ultra Magnus, and Blitzwing. So as for Silverbolt, there isn't actually any concept art for this character, however there was a voice actor that said he would be voicing him for the film, and so that's why he's here. I also want to mention that it's unlikely that we will get an Ultra Magnus and Blitzwing release, as they just seem to be placeholder names for Sentinel Prime and Shockwave, but I still think it'd be cool to get some sort of release for them under the Dark of the Moon title. For the old toy line characters, we have Flak, Powerglide, Guzzle, Roller, Air Raid, Dark Steel, Skyhammer, Backfire, Ice Pick, Sandstorm, Thunderhead, Whirl, Tailpipe, Dragstrip, Half Track, Crosshairs, and Reverb. So a lot of these were the smaller Human Alliance figures, so I doubt we would get them at any point, as they are mostly just throwaway figures, but as for the other characters, I think we will eventually get them in some format, as they were cool figures and they definitely have the Bayverse look about them. But anyways, moving on to Age of Extinction now, and for this film we have Optimus Prime in his evasion mode, Bumblebee in both modes, Hound, Drift in its Bugatti mode, Crosshairs, Ratchet, Leadfoot, Brains, Scorn, Slug, Strafe, the Junkheap triplets, Two Head, Steeljaw, Stupid Drone, yes that's his name, Pusher Drone, and the Oreobot. And I must say, I cannot believe we haven't seen a Hound figure in Studio Series yet, as he is a fan favourite and fans have been begging for him to get a figure for such a long time now. I've already expressed my disbelief for the lack of Dinobots since Grimlock in a previous video, and I don't think we'll get Two Head, Stupid Drone and the Pusher Drone for obvious reasons. But I will say that I think this is the perfect chance for Hasbro to repackage Leadfoot and Ratchet, as those figures are really rare to find now for a decent price, and this would allow collectors to get those figures after missing out on the original release. So for cut characters and concept art, we have Slash, Slog, Snarl, the Silver Knight Optimus Prime, Widowmaker, and Kickback. So there was a leaked listing of upcoming Studio Series figures that did have Widowmaker on it, so I think that one can be ticked off the list, and I do reckon we will eventually get all of these at some point, as the Dinobots are obvious money makers, the Silver Knight Optimus Prime could be an exclusive figure, and Kickback sounds like a cool enough character to make an appearance in the concept art line. But anyways, we shall move on to the toy line characters now, and we don't have many at all for Age of Extinction, with there only being 3, and these are Rollbar, Prowl, and Hotshot. Now I can definitely see us getting Rollbar, and I can maybe see us getting Prowl too, whether it be from this movie or from the 2007 movie. However, I can't see us getting Hotshot, as he was a repaint of Crosshairs, and I don't see Hasbro doing that again. So now on to the final Bayverse film with The Last Knight. And for this film, we are yet to see pretty much every character from that film, which is annoying as most of these figures would be amazing Studio Series figures, and some of them never even got releases back when the film came out. And so the characters from this film are Optimus Prime / Nemesis Prime, Bumblebee, Hot Rod in his Citroen mode, Hound again, Drift, Squeaks, Grimlock, Slug, the Baby Dinobots, Day Trader, Topspin / Volleybot, Bulldog, Lieutenant, Canopy, Trench, the Northrop Autobot, the HMS Alliance Autobot, Megatron, Barricade, Nitro Zeus, Dreadbot, Onslaught, Berserker, the Decepticon Protoforms, the Watchbot, the Vatibot, the Junkheap, Dragonstorm, Stormrain, Dragonicus, Steelbane, the other Guardian Knights, Skullatron, the Talisman Knight, Quintessa, the Infernicons, and finally Infernicus. So yeah, that is a huge list of characters we are yet to see from Hasbro, and the ones I want to mention here are the Northrop Autobot and HMS Alliance Autobot, who I can't see us getting a figure for just because they never transform in the film, and as far as I'm aware, there isn't any concept art for what they would look like in robot mode anyways. I also want to mention that we obviously won't be getting the Watchbot and the Vatibot for being tiny characters and not really being that important to the plot. And finally, I want to mention that it would be so cool to get either a Commander class Dragonstorm that splits into the Guardian Knights, or just have the Knights be separate releases that combine together to form Dragonstorm, just like the Constructicons that combine into Devastator. But yeah, we'll move on to cut and concept characters now, which is luckily a much smaller list. These are Optimus Primal, Cheetor, a Snake Decepticon / Predacon, the Anarchist Dreads, Tankbot Duo, a Samurai Knight, more Mini Dinobots, and a Dragon Megatron. So I think it would be cool to get the Snake and Samurai Knight, however the main attraction here is of course the Dragon Megatron, which I think would be an incredible figure, and I really hope Hasbro thinks the same because I would buy this in an instant, and I'm sure many others would as well. Apart from that though, I don't really find the other concepts interesting enough personally, so I wouldn't mind not seeing them get releases. So, for the old Toyline characters, we have a grand total of 0 characters to talk about here. And I think it makes sense since we didn't even get half of the main cast as figures. And so, with that, we have reached the end of the Bayverse and the beginning of the reboot universe with the Bumblebee movie. And there isn't many characters at all for this film that we are yet to receive, with the list of characters that appeared in the film being Bumblebee in his Camaro mode, Shatter and Dropkick in their Cybertronian modes, Dropkick with his triple changer design, and finally the rest of the Bumblebee movie Seekers that were seen in the background of some shots. I'm really hoping that Hasbro remakes Dropkick's Helicopter Deluxe and gives him his triple changer design for that mode, just so that he can finally pair up with Shatter on the shelf, as his current figure is so inaccurate and is one of my least favourite Studio Series figures to date. But apart from that, I don't really have much to say about the other characters, except from I think we will get them at some point down the line. So for concept art characters, I could only find 2, but I know that there will be a ton of character concepts that haven't been released, as we did get Sunstreaker despite there being no concept art of him anywhere online. And so the 2 concepts I could find are the Autobot Army Soldier and Ranger. And I believe Ranger is just an early concept for either Dropkick or Shatter, however the design is unique enough to warrant getting its own figure, and I think it would be pretty cool to get this one. The Army Soldier would be an alright figure, however I can see it just being a shelf warmer just because it has a very generic design. So for Toyline characters, we also only have 2, and that's because this is where the Studio Series took over and became the main form of getting these characters. So the only 2 characters on this list are Barricade and Hot Rod. And I will admit, I think it would be really cool to see both of these characters get figures with these vehicle modes. And I think they would look great next to the rest of the Bumblebee movie cast, so hopefully we get them at some point. But now, we are at our final and most recent live action film with Rise of the Beasts. And the characters from this film are Mirage in his F1 vehicle mode, Mirage in his Lamborghini mode, Mirage in his dump truck mode, Stratosphere, Scourge with a screen accurate design, and Air Razor with a screen accurate design. Obviously it would be great to get the different Mirage forms, and Stratosphere would be an incredible figure, but I've mentioned Scourge and Air Razor here as their figures in particular are quite different than their final designs due to being based on early concepts, and so it would be great to see these figures remade at some point just to be more accurate to the film. But now we have the concept art and cut characters, and we begin with one of the most famous cut characters from these films, and that is Transit. And I will get back to him later after I've gone through the rest of the characters, which are Rampage, Bloodhound, Waspinator, Spittor, Ramhorn, Optimus Prime in his upgraded truck mode, Ratchet, Trailbreaker, Ironhide, Sideswipe, and Brawn. So, we are all very much anticipating that Transit figure, and I think it's basically guaranteed now that the concept art line has been introduced. However, I also think we will definitely be getting the Predacons at some point, as we only have Scorponok and his repaints as actual Predacon figures, which is a shame, but with these characters we will at least have more to mess around with. I also think Bloodhound is a guaranteed release. However, as for the others, I only mentioned them since there is that one concept art showing a supposed alternate final battle sequence, but the actual designs for the characters are very basic, and I just can't see these guys actually getting their own figures because of that. But now for the Toyline characters, these are basically all just from the Beast Combiners or Beast Weaponizers sublines, and so I wouldn't really count on any of these being made. However, I will still list them. And so the full list goes Skullcruncher, Silverfang, Snarlsaber, Lionblade, Sandspear, Arrowstripe, Chainclaw, Barricade, and Starscream. And so, like I said, I don't see any of these being made. However, I will mention that it would be cool to see Starscream get a release, as his figure from the Bumblebee movie transforms into a Cybertronian jet, and so it would be great to get a version of that figure with an Earth mode, with it maybe just being a recolor of Blitzwing with his head from the Bumblebee movie Voyager. But yeah guys, that is the full list of every possible character we are yet to see in Studio Series. And as you can see, we have plenty here to last decades, which means that Studio Series won't and shouldn't be going anywhere anytime soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, then feel free to like, comment and subscribe to see more Transformers related content in the future, and to stay up to date with any other videos I make. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you later.